Hello everybody, it's Lee of the Gamer. So in the most recent Top 5 Gaming video, he said something about the Phineas and Ferb collab with Fortnite. I'm a huge Phineas and Ferb fan. I genuinely love the show, and as a guy who's rewatched a bunch of seasons, like all of them, and watched all the seasons, I would love this. Now what he said is that these are just rumors, right? I'm giving my personal opinion about this. He said that Phineas could be a sidekick. Phineas. Which I don't think would be the best idea. Here's my ideas on what, if you're going to do a Phineas and Ferb collab, here's my ideas. So anybody who's watched Phineas and Ferb can understand exactly what I'm saying here. So, mainly these Phineas and Ferb are kids. So they can't really work as skins. But I have an idea. Instead of them being, instead of them being in their own separate mechs, what if we did one mech, the beak? There's a masked version where you can't see anything except for the beak, and then there's an unmasked version where you can see Phineas's head, and then in the little torso area you can see Ferb. I think that'd be a good idea. For Isabella, Buford, and Balji, I don't think they'd be the best as skins. We just want to focus on the two main characters. Now, Perry. I have a few ideas for him. There's actually a lot of ideas I would like. So, first of all, he could be a sidekick with his little hat. His first version is where he's normal, right? And he's just walking around on four legs, and his eyes are separated. And then on the second version, we got Perry has his eyes straightened. He has his hat, and then he's standing on two legs. And for the edit styles, I think we could definitely do the thing where it's like we could just customize his hat for different colors. That's what the edit style idea. For his emote, I think we should do one where it's like glass appears, and then he breaks through it and says, and then there's music and it says Perry, because that's a good idea. And then for the other skins, I'm thinking Major Monogram, Doofenshmirtz, and that's about it. I don't want to add anybody else, unless we're thinking Candace, because that could also work. Except I want edit style for Candace where she's from the second dimension, because quite frankly that's awesome. And then continuing, there's other skins that we could do. For Doofenshmirtz, we could do his second dimension version. And for Major Monogram, I just want his version where he's in that Hawaiian shirt. Okay? We don't have to do anything else for that. We just want his Hawaiian shirt for a second version. And I think that'd be a really good collab. I don't know how else you would do that. What else would you do? For backlinks, I'm thinking we could do a reference from the show. Like Blueprints. Because of that one song that they sing. I don't know, give them like blueprints with like fun things. Or just give them something cool like that. For pickaxes, I'm thinking, man, I don't know about backlinks and pickaxes. I don't know what to say about that. That's a whole thing. I think for pickaxes, we could definitely do something like the car of the future today on a stick. Like as a miniature version. And then an edit style where it's the toy car that they had, the blue one. And then for other pickaxes, for like Ferb, I'm thinking a huge wrench. Because that's a Ferb thing. And then for emotes, Phineas clearly has to have Ferb, I know what we're going to do today. Because that's, quite frankly, an emote we need. And Ferb needs an emote where it's like, and he's got the finger guns. And since they're one skin together as the beak, I think the Ferb, I know what we're going to do today. We have like Phineas using his robot arms and pointing up, Ferb, I know what we're going to do today. And then for a different emote, since they're the same skin, for Ferb, for that whole thing, for the finger guns, we could just make him pop out of the torso real quick and go pointing at Phineas, and then coming back in, since they're the same skin. I think that'd be the best idea. Also, if we're adding Doofenshmirtz, like I said, he needs an emo where it's like, "Curse you, bury the platypus," or like, "A platypus? Bury the platypus!" Or the "Look at my brand new Enator." We need something like that, okay? Also, for a trailer for the collab, I want a full-fledged episode where it's like, you get half of the episode where it's like, Perry breaks in and it's like, Perry the platypus. My teleport to a video game Enator. It'll teleport you into a random video game. And then it ends up hitting the boys, and then it ends up hitting Doofenshmirtz and Perry. And they all teleport to Fortnite, and then boom, we do some gameplay of the skins. Yeah, I think that's the best idea you could do this collab, instead of Phineas being like a sidekick. Like, that's the best idea you could do for a collab. And if you do that, I will buy all of it immediately. I will love you, Fortnite, even more than I love you now. Like, please, I will buy that. Also, we could have a roller coaster backlink. I just thought of this, a roller coaster backlink. Like a miniature version of the roller coaster they built in the first episode. Alright, I think that's all I needed to say. I would love this collab. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you all in the next one. Hey, okay, that's enough.